Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the ESL Pro League Relegation Day number 2. This is the Game Flip pre-show. My name is Dan Gaskin, and I will be guiding you through the day, but I am not the only person who is going to be on your screens. I have some fantastic casters and analysts alongside me. Kicking it off, though, I have Topical and I have Strong Legs, who both have better names than I ever will, but it's okay. I'm not jealous or anything like
Dan
that.
Gaskin's kind of hard to top.
I mean, it's just my name.
It just flows
really.
off the tongue.
From birth, just gifted it. Quite fortunate, to be honest, and even got it on Twitter, so I'm quite happy. Gentlemen, how are you feeling today? It was a good day yesterday. We were able to send a couple of teams to Pro League, but we need to do it again. We need to send some more.
Right, and I mean, we got over the jet lag. Hopefully all the players that are arriving are as well, so they can have some better Counter-Strike coming out. Because we saw some pretty rough Counter-Strike in general yesterday. There's a lot of mistakes, and other teams are able to exploit those mistakes and just push through.
Absolutely, yeah. I feel better. I got sleep. It was becoming a foreign concept almost for a little while, but yeah, it's nice. It feels good. We're energized. We're alive, and the energy's pretty high in here too.
You look well rested.
Thank you.
You both look fantastic, actually. Actually, can you get off my desk? You're making me look terrible. Yeah, you're looking far too good for my liking. Right, we should probably inform you of how we got here and why we're doing this relegation process. Of course, the Pro League is two separate leagues. We have the European and the North American. We'll look at the European standings and how it finished. Of course, we had Mouse at the top, we had NIP at the top, but it's down at the bottom that we are focusing on. EnVy and AGO Esports are in this relegation tournament. Of course, LDLC were already relegated as well. And if you are wondering what the relegation bracket looks like, but we can also show you that as well, because that's what we're going to be focusing on today. We already had a couple of games yesterday. We had EnVy versus Spirit and AGO versus Windigo, which means EnVy versus AGO will face each other today for a spot in that Pro League next season. And then down in the bottom, Team Spirit face off against Windigo. The winner of that faces the loser of EnVy versus AGO for another spot in the European Pro League. Gentlemen, is this kind of how you saw the relegation bracket playing out in terms of Europe? The fact that we have the two Pro League teams going up against each other for a chance back in Pro League?
I would say yes. This was anticipated, especially after we watched Windigo yesterday in their first series in the Mountain Dew League and then coming into the relegation matches. We didn't really see too much strength from especially their mid presence on Overpass, and that was obviously seen by their opponents and exploited throughout. So I think after seeing those matches, I didn't see Windigo going any further, and I agree. I think they're going to end up dropping out of into the lower bracket.
And then on the other side, of course, we have the North American teams as well that are going to be competing. This was the standings from Season 7. It's going to be Complexity and Splice who are in that relegation tournament, whereas Dignitas already did get relegated. And this is the playoff bracket on the North American side. We won't be focusing on this bracket on this stream. The Bravo stream will be focusing on this one. But if you want to get involved, if you want to see that happening, you've got Complexity versus Splice and Talked versus Swole. And of course, 2 spots to play for in the North American Pro League. Season 8, I believe. Boy, there's been quite a few seasons now. We're getting through it. I enjoy it thoroughly. Again, it's another situation where we've got 2 Mountain Dew League teams facing off against each other in the lower bracket and 2 Pro League teams in the winners bracket. I mean, Strong Legs, Complexity, Splice, have you got a favorite on that side?
If Complexity was using their full roster, I'd be leaning towards them. But Splice, so Complexity is using 2 stand-ins. They're using Slemmy and Professor Chaos instead of Stanislaw and Shazam. So those are 2 big pickups recently for Complexity, but they're not able to use them in this tournament. So they are, again, using Slemmy and Professor Chaos. Splice is only using 1 ringer, and that's Ricky. And Ricky's been pretty good in his performances lately, and he's showing up here also. So I'm leaning towards Splice this time around. Yeah,
it's all about who can kind of turn up on the day, who's going to show up, who's going to be that superstar, who's going to have that one moment. But as I said, we are focusing on the European side of the bracket on today's stream. And the first series of the day is going to be EnVy versus AGO. Now, I am personally quite excited for this one because when I looked at the fixtures yesterday and was like, oh, we're not going to see EnVy, and I'm like, Scream's here, and I'm like, I want to see Scream, and now he's down there. I'm fanboying a little bit, all right? Just a tad, like I'm sure everyone else would be if they were in this situation. My heart says EnVy. However, we did see AGO perform quite well yesterday. Who would you say are the key players on both teams? We'll start with AGO, I guess. Who should we be looking out for coming into this match?
For AGO, I was really impressed with Snatchy. I mean, he's been performing out of his mind. His opping has been impeccable, almost flawless. He's dropped so many kills, incredible individual performances. So I'm definitely looking out for Snatchy for them. Gruby's also been a pretty good performer. Furlan, I think he was the most recent pickup, but either way, he's been a pretty good Polish performer, and I'm really excited to watch him play.
And on the other side then, Envy, I mean, there are, of course, the lineup is pretty star-filled anyway, but is there anyone you're preferring?
I mean, they've got a good heritage. We didn't get to see any of the matches on our side. They were on the B stream. Yep. But I would assume you're just going to end up watching the main guys. Kyoshima, Scream hopefully is able to get some taps in. And I think Strong Legs, you were talking about Haji earlier this morning.
Yeah, Haji's their latest pickup. He's kind of like the X factor for them. Like, he's not really as well known as the rest of the players on Envy. So I'm pretty excited to see how he's going to perform against another pro team, to see like where exactly does he stand on LAN.
Yeah, and I'm wondering whether... See, it's good to have people who are experienced around you, but then you might also feel extra pressure because you know the eyes are going to be on you because everyone expects good things from the previous veterans. All right, we do have the map vetoes as well. We can see what games are going to be played on stream. So Nuke and Mirage taken away respectively. And then I imagine we have some picks to follow. Envy are going to be picking Train, and on the other side it's going to be Overpass. Overpass and Train, that's two pretty good maps. And then we will have two more bans coming through. It almost worked.
Yeah.
Two more bans. Inferno and Dust 2 disappear, leaving us with Cash. So unexpectedly, we kind of, well, or expectedly, should I say, Dust 2 taken away. I think we were blessed to see it yesterday. I think might be the only time we actually see it on a stream this weekend. Who knows? Maybe more teams will see it. But what do you think with Overpass, Train, and Cash being the maps? Any general feels after seeing that?
I think if AGO can go into the third map, Cash is going to help them out a lot. I think it's very fortunate that they ended up, or Envy ended up banning Dust rather than Cash. Dust is still one of those maps that coming back into the rotation is still a little bit awkward. It's the tried and true map. Everybody knows how to play it, but it's still fresh, and I'd like to see that get ironed out a little bit. But the fact that Cash is in the map pool now, or in the three that we're going to play, AGO going to have a little bit of help.
Yeah. Cash is actually one of AGO's best maps. So for me to see it as a third map, I'm not that surprised. I think this veto went pretty as expected. The only map that's kind of throwing me off here is Overpass. That's not a map that Envy plays that much. So if AGO is able to pick up their map pick, Train is kind of a toss-up. It is one of Envy's most played maps, but AGO is also pretty good on Train. So it's leaning towards Envy, so I think we're going to see a 2-1 here. My heart says, my intuition says, this is an AGO veto. This is definitely favoring AGO.
I mean, and that surprises me because, I mean, even if maps maybe are leaning in their favor, I'd still feel like Envy should be the favorite going into this. But of course, they were both Pro League teams. Both had a relatively disappointing season, but this is the time for them to just kind of put all that behind them, start Season 8 fresh and say, all right, whatever, we had a bad season, but at least now we're not relegated. Because no one wants to end up being relegated and have to battle back. This is their chance now just to make up for all of those kind of bad times in Season 7. I know that they have faced off against each other relatively recently. April the 11th, they faced each other on Cobble and Train, and of course we know what's happened to Cobblestone. But on Train, it actually went 16-9 in favor of Envy, so you can understand why they've gone for that veto as well. Is confidence going to be something that you think is going to be flowing through both of these teams? Because, I mean, Envy, we did, as you said, we didn't see them on the B stream, but we know AGO, they had a very dominant performance yesterday, and they seemed confident after they came out of that series.
Yeah, I think AGO in this series, this is going to be their biggest challenge yet. However, I give this 2-1 Envy, but it could go 2-1 AGO. Either way, I think we're going to 3 maps, but regardless, whoever drops into the lower bracket, I still think makes it all the way through anyways.
I think we've seen quite a lot of teams winning the map that they've chosen as well, which should happen in most cases, but let's say it doesn't happen. Let's see we see AGO lose Overpass. Are we then looking at a 2-0? Do you think, would it be really a big hurdle for them to be able to achieve a win on Train?
So my prediction is that whoever wins the first map on Overpass, they're more likely to be favored to win this BO3 series.
Okay.
So if Envy can pick up Overpass, which is AGO's map pick, then it's definitely favoring them. But if Envy wins Overpass, then Train is more likely leaning towards Envy also. So that's going to be...
And it's who comes out of the gates faster. And AGO, when they were playing their matches yesterday, had a little bit of a slow start in both of their series. But after that first quarter, and getting into especially halftime, that's when they started throttling up. So if they have a slow start on Overpass, it could hamstring them a little bit.
Absolutely.
And from seeing, we saw Overpass several times yesterday, was there any big mistakes that teams were making that you don't want to see today, or things you'd like to see teams play differently when it comes to Overpass in terms of strategy?
Yeah, I want to see more aggression and more dominance on the CT side on Overpass. Like, traditionally, the meta is kind of shifting now to like this aggression. But yeah, let's see what happens.
Yep, we will see what happens, and I think we are just about ready to jump into the game. It's going to be the first series of the day. We have 3 best-of-3s throughout the day, and we have more fabulous casters as well. Evan, Bok, are you over there? Do you want to cast some Counter-Strike for me?
I think we're here.
Yeah, it's going to be, I'm ready to cast some Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I am ready to cast some Counter-Strike. Thank you very much, gentlemen on the desk, and Dan as well.
Yeah, lovely guys.
Yeah.
Lovely guys.
But it should be a good game. I think the analyst desk has it pegged perfectly. The map pool does kind of skew slightly towards AGO's favor.
Yeah.
Just looking at the map history in general, AGO is very strong on Overpass.
Yeah.
Train is a moderately successful map for them. Cache is also a good map for them. That was one of the things we talked about last season. When we saw them play. Their map pool is very deep. Whereas EnVyUs right now, not so good. In fact, Overpass is like a really historically bad map for
So
EnVy.
I was going to point that out. I mean, we've done a lot of EU coverage. I mean, you do the rank S for EU as well, so you see a lot of these EU players. I mean, Overpass for AGO, it might not be one of their preferred maps, but I definitely know that Train is one of their stronger maps, 100%. I mean, going into last season, when they made the MDL finals, they took down VP. I think it was like 16-3 on Train. But going into Overpass right now, I mean, if AGO are able to win this map out, ooh, Kiyoshima takes a little bit of damage from that fall from spawn early on, but if AGO do take this map here, I mean, they're going to have such an advantage on Train, they could finish this one out 2-0.
Well, we'll see if Keo is the problem here in pistol round as EnVy tries to kick things off strong with a victory on Overpass. The very first match of the day here for our day 2 of ESL Pro League relegations. Ooh. And a nice shot from Furlan directly to the skull of Haji. He's going to be falling back towards that A-bomb site. AGO.
Look at this.
Taking things slow. They're setting things up for a B take. They've got this head boost. You know, I love to see these kind of plays on Overpass, but it's also a massive gamble because essentially you're dedicating a second player to have no purpose other than being a ladder.
Well, Furlan now going down today signals to the AGO guys that they need to push on to B. Happy getting gooshed. Now he's going to have to play passive. RPK getting gooshed as well. And we have 3 players on EnVy. Very low. Scream, thankfully, dropping 3 people to put Tao in a 1v5 situation.
Screamy Bobby with the headshots. It's unfortunate when you see the damage readout there that you headshot 3 players. Good shots on RPK, Haji, and Happy. But Scream says, I finish what I start. 3 kills for him in the pistol as EnVy takes it with ease. Again, we did kind of see what I was saying with that head boost. It's such an unfortunate way to play because if they don't get those kills, effectively that lower player does nothing. He is completely useless outside of just being a box to stand on.
And
so if the top guy's not getting the kills, then it's a play that could potentially
even
cost
in that
you the round.
situation, I mean, with the Glocks running, that one tap that Happy caught in the face pretty much put him out of the round. The Glocks are very powerful, bursting out that long. But look at EnVy right now with the double long A push. Haji leading the charge, and he's going to be making contact here. Oof.
Oh, Kiyoshima. Dropped a little low, has to go to the sidearm. USP comes out. The flashbang's actually keeping him alive. Finally, they're able to squeeze a bullet over that pesky rock.
Scream.
Can Scream have a field day with his M4? He knows some of them are low, but the target he's taken actually was pretty high on HP. Should be an easy mop-up, but it's not, as the M4 gets away from him. So despite the damage dealt, it looks like AGO is getting some revenge.
Happy's going to have to win or lose this round. Going down there to Tao puts RPK now in a 1v3. You see the terrorist resetting. RPK essentially now needs to gamble, stack a site. He's going to assume they're going towards B. Right now, that is correct. It does look like AGO opting to push off towards that B bomb site. So RPK right now with the HP, oh, he actually rotates off.
I think they juked him with a smoke.
Yeah, they did.
I think they threw a smoke up from T-spawn towards A somewhere just to throw him off. Ultimately, he's got an ump, and all 3 guys are on body armor, not head armor. So there is that one-shot potential, especially with their HP. But this is looking like AGO is going to get revenge for what happened in Pistol, gushing 3 players without being able to win the round. They've got plenty of utility to try and keep RPK at bay, and the position in pit is perfect. He does clear it, and Furlan can't finish what he starts, but RPK is so low on HP, and there you go. AGO gets their revenge in the second.
Yeah, and that could have been a very dangerous round. If RPK doesn't take as much damage as he does in that situation, plus, I mean, the issue there, too, he didn't have a kit. So he had to rush the whole situation himself pretty quickly. If he had a kit, he would have been able to take those angles a little bit slower, give himself a little bit more time. But unfortunately, in that situation, he has to push very quickly, take down at least 2 people to put himself in that 1v1 and tap the bomb. That doesn't happen. He gets taken down, and AGO, well, they're on the board with the first round. Great round out of them, too.
Yeah, that was if that was 2017 he probably wins that.
Yeah.
2018 and I'm going early 2017 as well. So the CZs will come out from EnVy, and they send 3 players into the connector. A lot of activity sitting back by the fountain currently, as AGO is flipping coins in there for good luck.
Now with Furlan making that contact, he doesn't really have a Molotov. He's going to make contact with Haji, but with these 3 CTs in this connector, he should be taken down fairly easily. There you go.
And it's a common setup here. We talked about this yesterday. It's sort of that like phalanx setup, setting up a lot of pistols in one place and just focus firing. It does work out for them, but unfortunately in this instance, the nade comes down and kind of forces them out of position. Like mice, they scurry from the connector. They'll be planting the bomb on A, and AGO will be set up perfectly, and at this point, it might be a save from Team EnVy because there's really nothing to go for. Maybe find some exits, a better angle, to take a gun with them.
Yeah, 100%. Happy already has recovered that MAC-10. Oh, I hope he doesn't go out here. Snatchy doing a lot of damage to him, but I'd like to see Happy keep that MAC-10, pass it off to a teammate, or sorry, pass the CZ off to a teammate, and now give himself a little bit more money to farm, or a little more chance to farm some money, I should say.
He's armorless as well. I'm surprised he didn't like try to toss it over to Keo.
Good point.
Now, I mean, maybe he had armor and it got ripped away and it's gone now.
Yeah, that's the boldest 100 damage to armor in 1 round.
That would have been insane, but it is interesting to see him in that position. The bomb will detonate with no explosion. It's a very, very dangerous. It's silent but deadly.
Explosion. Yeah, silent but deadly.
Silent but deadly.
Just crop dusting the map. AGO, though, up 2-0. We're going to see EnVy go on to, well, like we were talking about, Keo was able to save his armor. Scream keeps that deagle. Happy, he's going to toss the CZ off to RPK, keep the MAC-10 in tow. So right now, EnVy, they still have a good opportunity here to get some kills, maybe even possibly win this economical round that they're on.
AGO trying to use these SMGs still in play to make a little bit of extra cash, and they could. This time around, they kind of stack things up. Happy still deciding not to buy armor, just holding on to that MAC-10, really just looking for some extra money. And he wants to make that extra $600 with that SMG kill, if he's able to find it. But they've given up control of B. The CT side's now going to be attempting to rotate in. Scream, as you know, ever so scary when he gets an opportunity to fire, but the smoke is going to prevent him from seeing much of anything. Smoke's coming out from EnVy as well to try and get back into the site. They're going for the head boost, and Ruby's going to see everything, but he's in position, and he gets pushed by Keo.
Huge.
Keo now has an AK and armor, too. There's a chance for him to do some damage here.
Here we go with the retake now. Snatchy and PHR combining for 2 kills of their own. Keo with that AK finally gets taken down by Tao, and now it's left up to Scream with that deagle, and he's going to town. Only 2 terrorists left. Can he find one more and make this a very costly round for AGO?
Yeah, Toa offering some support by shooting Snatchy directly in the face. He came through the smoke on catwalk, and he just got greeted with a bullet from the FAMAS. Luckily, it was a FAMAS, so it didn't do too much damage.
Here we go into the first gun round now. EnVy, no ops on the field. They were buying up a little bit more throughout those eco rounds. Scream actually might, no. Okay, so he's going to go ahead and just pick up his M4, silence M4, and use that into this round. He doesn't, I think he's going to, no. Scream doesn't buy any utility.
You know, I got a German lesson on this map once. I pointed out the fact that all of the signs are in German, except for the word bank. And then I found out that bank in German is bank.
Look at this aggression now from EnVy. Scream about to pop flash for Haji. Here it comes, the aggressive peek. Oh, massive double kill for Snatchy.
That one stings a little bit for EnVy as 2 players go down early, and they're 2 of the heavier hitters as well. It's down to Kiyoshima, now RPK.
Oh my gosh.
As AGO just mops things up really easily. A 5-man survival in the first buy round bodes well for AGO. Again, coming into this, in the last 3 months, EnVy was 0-4 on Overpass. Their closest game was a 16-13 loss to Mousesports. Other than that, it was like 16-2, 16-3, 16-5.
Jeez.
And it's surprising that this is their pick. It's one thing if the map leaks through. It's another thing when they select it. So clearly they felt comfortable, but I don't know why.
Well, it's interesting because the last 2 times these teams met, EnVy wins both of them, 16-13, 16-9, Cobble and Train. So you got to imagine EnVy kind of felt a little bit more confident on choosing what they feel like playing rather than avoiding the AGO good maps.
But in general, as the analyst said, map pool does seem to skew towards AGO.
Yeah, 100%.
The Polish side.
Right now with EnVy on this eco, AGO just taking their time towards this middle. Very slow progression towards this bathroom area, and rightfully so. They don't want to run into a stack. They don't want to lose any unnecessary guns. This is good work from them.
Keo, peeks out wide, somehow survives. Even though he was armorless, it shouldn't have taken much. The nade, though, going to air burst right next to his skull. And I believe there was some talk back and forth. You hear that?
Yeah, you heard that.
That little tick.
Yep.
That's them conversing. It's a 4-on-4. All right, guys. Shh. We have casting to do. Stop talking.
Scream now. He's going to make that initial contact with Furlan here, who's crept all the way out. Snatchy might actually find him, and he does. From all the way back at long A, he finds a very easy kill on Scream, who's trying to get a little bit of info with Hadji now on the flank towards bathroom. PHR, the only man left to watch the backs. Hadji might actually be able to get something going here.
Now, PHR's timing is really important. He's going to cross just in time for Hadji to see him, but, I mean, in the end, Hadji dies. He's an armorless P250. He just couldn't deal the damage. My assumption is he fired, but he didn't connect. His target didn't even take damage. PHR still sitting on a full boat. Snatchy finishes out the round. EnVy going to be able to buy again, and it's going to be a strong buy. But if they drop this one, I imagine a pause would come through as they try to figure out what's going on here, because this is a CT-sided map, and we talked about it yesterday. CT-sided even more so in EU.
Yeah, the EU, I just find from casting NA and EU MDL, well, now we are going into Pro League, but just the EU teams have a better understanding of CT-side and how to play it. Their CTs are generally better overall. I mean, this goes up throughout all of Europe. So right now for AGO to be at this point.
If we're being honest, EU teams have a better grasp on both sides of the map, not just the CT side. But into the site they go. Scream rips the head off of Groovy, but RPK, Scream, and Happy all dead. The round is basically already over at this point. There is no sense in EnVy going for this. They are so far away from the play that they're just going to keep their guns that off in that M4. And like I said, I would imagine at this point, EnVy probably takes a pause. If not in this next round, but maybe the round that follows, because things are starting to get out of control.
Yeah, and now 6 rounds in a row coming for the AGO side. I mean, the Mercy money now kicking in for EnVy. They got to decide what they want to do. Scream's going to have enough to buy. RPK is going to have enough to buy. Happy, he might need to, you know, buy just a little bit less famous for some utility. But everybody on EnVy is going to have the opportunity here. Or they may say, let's just save one more, get strong money going, and come back into this half. Because at this point, EnVy, I mean, they've got little to no momentum right now.
With the map being the way that it is, I can almost see, I see value in like a CZ armor on Happy and putting him in connector.
Yeah.
Because like it's such a close quarters fight that's actually a great position to play in. You know, the pause doesn't look like it's going to come through, at least not as of yet. EnVy is going to keep kind of...
Keo actually drops Happy in that situation.
What a guy.
Good guy. Good guy. Good teammate.
He was the solution. So it's a little bit bumpy at the beginning for EnVy, but we kind of expected this. This is a team who has been slipping out of form over the last several months, you know, falling from grace. At one point in time, EnVy was the best team in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, going back to like 2014, early 2015, they were a strong team, and it's just been a slow and steady decline as the French scene has shuffled around a bit. Would love to see them return to that high spot yet again.
And that's the idea behind Hadji, right? Bringing that new talent, that fresh blood that can bring something new to the team, not only through attitude, but just the skill level, something they maybe haven't seen before. And yeah, I'm hopeful for EnVy too, but a great flash, and Keo not even being impacted by it. He's going to catch Furlan fully flashed.
They have a decent setup right now to control bathrooms. Hadji on the other side of that smoke, if he just sneaks out a little bit, he'll spot Snatchy. Oh, the timing. They double peek, not even intentionally, it just kind of happens. And now Keo is left out to dry. There is a good flank coming in from long. That's Scream who's there, but the nade. Ah, that stings a little bit. It will fall down onto 2. Scream and RPK against 3 members of AGO. The site's been lost. RPK is still here. And the tank himself.
Big kill.
Able to get 1, dinks the second. This is winnable, especially for a man like Scream, but with no utility and no kit. He's able to find one and a flash. That might be all he needs to win the round.
Oh, Snatchy. He just saw Scream there as he came up through the bathroom in that divider area. Snatchy now throwing them a great Molotov here, and Scream, I mean, his back's against the wall in this clutch. He's got to find himself a kill onto Snatchy, who's holding very well for him. Oh, there it is.
Well played. Well played by Snatchy.
Yeah.
Once he spotted him, that was kind of the round going their way.
Yeah. Especially after he drops that Molotov, cuts off Scream's entire angle. There's that pause that you were talking about coming out as EnVy try and figure out, I mean, how this half is starting to run away with them. 7 rounds in a row. Only the pistol round EnVy has been able to convert on, and since then, it's been all Polish CS here.
Haji and Happy have yet to get on the scoreboard, both 0-6 currently. Even though you hate to point out individual performance as a factor, it certainly contributes.
Well, yeah, I mean, I talk about it all the time on my team. It's not a big deal to go, you know, have the lowest kill count. Everybody contributes in their own way. But yeah, 1 or 2 kills might be the difference in the round win, which converts them onto a reset, which changes everything. So yeah, I mean, I'm not expecting to see players drop 20s right off the gate. But yeah, getting 1 or 2 kills really helps your effort towards your team actually getting involved into the game. Because essentially right now we're seeing 3 people frag out and 2 people just get blasted.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's... Scream was one of the reasons they even won pistol. He had to get 3 kills.
Exactly, exactly.
I mean, even if you look at his kill count now, you could see there's definitely been a fall off since that point. So, EnVy decides to stack towards B. All of the pistols, unfortunately, in most of the rounds we've seen thus far, AGO has a clear favoring of the A site, taking control of Fountain and mid bathrooms very easily. Top connector as well. For the most part, they haven't really sent much towards B.
I love this right now. The long A on the default right now. They're assuming there's an eco, so they know that there's most likely not going to be an op on the field. They're going to head towards long because they're going to be able to take those longer engagements. The CZ's not as powerful at that range here. As long as they stay grouped and now as they clear the bathroom area, they should be fine. I love this lurk as well. Outside B, you have Snatchy with the op. That could be dangerous if EnVy did decide to push out, but they opt to go back to A and rotate in. Oh, here comes a great flash from Scream. Is that going to catch anyone? Oh, this could be huge.
Nice kill coming in from Keo, the double CZ. Somehow Haji gets away. Keo's going to peek back out. Almost took down Gruby. It's a 4-on-3 advantage EnVy. That pause did help as they stacked up B, then full rotated back to A. The bomb is now falling off as there is a man already working his way into the B site. That'll be Snatchy.
This is huge now.
Did he hear him go in? I think he heard him drop into pit. I'm pretty sure he saw.
I don't think so. There it is. Happy makes that contact, takes down the op as well. If he's able to recover that here, Mark.
Back to A.
Back to A they go. They don't want to battle against that op of Happy, but Scream now, he's still set up there. And Scream in his Deagle armor. I mean, that's a force to be reckoned with here. Let's see what he can do as the T's start making their way in.
I mean, 10 seconds left. They have to get up onto the site.
Oh, nice shot.
He needed that kill so quick. They're going to stick the bomb. PHR just playing defense at that point.
Oh,
Gruby's in a 1v1. The flash comes through. Happy goes down. Happy gripped on the side of the truck. Couldn't even see him. That flashbang costs EnVy the round. That said, strong eco, strong force buy, but still, that was a 3-on-1.
That team
2-on-1, really.
That team flash.
Excuse me.
Oh, that's rough, man. I mean, the play was there for Haji to come up, make that play around Optimus, but the second, I mean, obviously Happy had the best intentions there, right? He wants the paw flash behind his teammate, allow him to fight, but that paw flash just catches him, just gives the bomb planter enough time to reset in that situation. He actually picks off the rotator first, and then finishes off the final CT. What a rough round for EnVy to lose. AGO, though, phenomenal start as they're on to their 8th round here on their T campaign.
A disappointing start for EnVy. And a slap in the face from AGO.
Yeah.
Big clutch play coming out.
Not even any HP on Gruby either. I think he had like
19.
19, yeah. He was in the reds. That was looking rough.
I just don't think that Haji realized his
arm was sticking out.
Yeah, his backside.
Yeah.
He's got a donk.
All those squats coming in handy.
Kiyoshima with the AWP. For the most part, has been one of the bright spots for EnVy early on. And he takes down Toao to get things started. But look at this. Oh, that is frustrating. The call does not come in time. Haji probably heard them pushing up long, but was so focused on the plays currently taking place over towards the bathrooms, he couldn't make the call. Gruby's on site. He's in a really bad spot right now, especially with the bomb solo.
Wow. And
that's the round going their way. This smoke kind of cut off the push coming in from PHR, and now it's another clutch play potential, but unlikely. EnVy's got their chips stacked towards the A site with the bomb in their possession. PHR's got to go big.
Yeah, after the ball moved into the site there was a good little minute where Haji played the in between the actual site as well as the two terrorists sitting towards that bathroom area. The rotations come in, easily take down Groovy, and now Scream dropping PHR. That's going to actually put Envy into their second round here, but at this point, it's not about getting just the one round, you know, and you need to start mounting rounds together, start stringing them together. You can't just get, you know, 2 or 3 here and then lose and then say, okay, boys, we're going to save. No, we're nearing the end of this first half. Envy need to get these last 5 rounds to make the CT side at least a little bit salvageable.
Happy finally cracking that egg. Still a frustrating performance from him. You know, you're talking about Haji getting picked up too. It is an interesting thing. For the longest time in the French scene, it's been the same player cycled in and out over and over. You might see a new guy come in once in a while, but for the most part, he gets ousted quickly and replaced by one of the old solid stand-ins. Nice flashbang early. Somehow Keo gets the shot, but good play coming in from AGO to trade that one out, and they've got full long control now. As they move up, there's still one on the site to contend with. That would be none other than the headshot machine, Scream and Happy, both getting into the bathrooms right now. As Scream goes for the angle onto Snatchy, it's an easy kill.
PHR, though, taking that man advantage right back from this. He's going to take Happy, turn this into a 3v2. Groovy now lurking out this long. I feel like Scream, oh! Doesn't find the kill as Groovy coming through the edge of that smoke is going to open up the A bomb site, and now RPK in a 3-on-1 here. He's got his work cut out for him, Mark.
He didn't even hit him. Somehow he escapes unscathed. RPK leaps up onto the ledge. He'll see Groovy as he drops through. Look at the damage dealt. RPK on 5 HP. It's time to save. Don't mess up the jump. He doesn't go for it. Play it safe.
Yeah. Is anybody going to chase from the AGO side? Because they do have a little bit of money to actually hunt. It does look like Tao is favoring that chase right now.
He was actually setting himself up, too, in case they were chasing him. That would have been a dangerous place to stay in, because I think the bomb would have killed him.
It would have.
With 5 HP.
Yeah.
So he realized, he's like, I can't really stick here too long. And then once no one's chasing him, he just decides to back off. He'll head further away back towards the spindle. One gun survives, and it's going to be Envy who gets reset. Only one player on the team capable of buying, and that's a pause coming in. They have to determine whether or not it makes sense for RPK to drop. I would love to see RPK drop an off to Kiyoshima. Happy buys up and throws a gun to Scream. And you stack up. You have Scream throw him a CZ, because honestly, Happy is not performing well, and Scream is. So you really stack your stuff up, but RPK's already bought full utility, so they've already kind of made up their mind about what they're going to do here.
Yeah, they might go for the full save, just use the utility on RPK's back here pretty much to give the USPs a chance. You do see RPK with that double flash setup, so it does look like, to me at least, right off the bat, that he might be looking for a... Nope, there's the buy that you were talking about. In it comes. They're going to go into it full. Happy's going to pick it up, but what are Scream and Keo going to aim for?
There's the gun drop. Yeah. So they do drop an M4 over to... Who's getting it? Keo.
So no op gets dropped like you were expecting, but they do end up picking up the M4, tossing it over to a teammate. And wise choice as well. We're on round 12 right now, Mark. I mean, it's 9-2. Envy need to get back into this.
See, this is the part that I'm not sure about. You know, Scream and Keo, who are playing well, end up on pistols, and Haji and Happy, who have been starting out a little bit weak, get the rifles. But at the same point in time, you can say the guys who are playing well can handle themselves with a pistol, whereas the guys who are struggling might be a little bit better off with that boost of a rifle. I can understand it.
Very true. Very true.
Still would have loved to see the op put in play, because it could be so influential on a map like Overpass with so many long angles. Flashbang through the smoke. PHR decides to stay behind it. Keo's there with the
He's
CZ.
Actually running a one-way smoke on the top
bathroom?
Connector. Yeah, into bathroom, and that's great. I love that smoke. Right now, Tao might be able to catch some feedage of Happy here if he does make his way just a little bit further up. No, it does look like they're opting for that monster where RPK has to defend it alone. There it goes. Happy goes down towards that short B.
So that's one of the rifles taken away as they lose an M4. Keo moving down connector with the CZ, trying to shift to cover. Does he realize there's still one here? PHR so patient holding this. And Keo actually is going to peek. It kind of caught PHR off guard. It almost looked like a radar check moment. He just wasn't prepared. Furlan dies as well. Good damage coming through from the CT side. Groovy at least able to drop in, and a kill comes in from Snatchy at the same time. So things balance out just a little bit better. And now AGO kind of has Envy in a difficult position. Do we rotate and try to run A, or do we try to stack B and hope for the best?
Yeah, that was great from AGO. Doing a great job of clearing out that connector. Snatchy through the short B. We see the drop come back from the T side of connector. Now Groovy taking down Scream pretty much puts RPK onto another save here as we see him moving out towards that monster. Oh.
8 seconds.
Maybe not. Is he going for this?
I think he's just going to set up for an exit.
Yeah.
You know, this is why I wanted to see them gamble a little bit more with that buy. Like, go for that op, go for the rifle. Because you're down 9-2.
Yeah.
It's time. You got to stop playing it safe. You got to start throwing things out there. You don't necessarily have to go for the Hail Mary or the hook and ladder play, but you need to do something a little bit more risky.
Yeah.
And, you know, I guess the riskiest part of that was putting rifles in the hands of players who have statistically just not really picked up their game yet. Still, there's the chance. There's always a chance. But like we said, not a strong map for Envy, statistically speaking, over the last couple of months. It's a peculiar pick. I would have expected to see them pick a more standard and set map like Inferno or maybe even Mirage. Overpass just didn't really make too much sense to me.
I mean, the thing was, I'm sure Envy was aiming for a little bit of Cobble, but with the Cobble now being taken out, Dust 2 being put in, right, your map choices get different. We were talking about the fact that Nuke D2, you're pretty much going to ban those because you don't really want to contest on them, and then really you're only left with those other few maps of Mirage, Overpass, etc. And yeah, Overpass seems to be one of the better choices. I mean, at this point with Cobble out, yeah, I could see myself picking Overpass as well. It's just,
I mean, maps they've played more often would be like Inferno, Train, Cobble, Cache. Statistically speaking, they don't like Mirage. They constantly veto it.
Well, then maybe this was one of those, hey, let's prepare for it quietly.
I would hope so, but it doesn't look like it's showing right now. That preparation, not really there. As it's down to pistols yet again, RPK with the AK. Haji's died, Screams there, hoping for a trade. There's an AWP around the corner. Oof. The dink shot. That's the nature of the P250 and its current states. 11 rounds now for AGO.
Decently clean round there, keeping 4 people alive as well, and almost that failing setup again that you were talking about out of Envy. But right now, AGO, their money's set. Snatchy on 10, Tau almost hitting 16, PHR Groovy, they're on 6.1. The lowest person is Furlan at 3. 11-2 is our scoreline. Envy right now, they need these final 2 rounds. This is going to be a very, very quick map 1 here, Mark.
This is what I was afraid of when we saw the map picks and bans come out. Yeah. I was hopeful. I really was. Like you, I was hoping, like, oh, maybe it's one of those maps, like, they've been putting the work in, but not the case. Even with AGO making
nice
small
Molotov.
Mistakes like that flash over the wall that didn't come through, it doesn't make a difference. They still find the entry. Happy, trying to play and firing through the flames, cannot spot his target, and the FAMAS starts to escape him. As the bullets evaporate into the void, it's AGO taking a site and Envy forced to save.
Yeah, no opportunity here for Envy. I mean, the full site control. Look at AGO right now. They're already pushed up towards that CT area. Nades are fully drawn right now towards that B-bomb site. They've closed out most of the angles. Envy right now, well, yeah, like you said, they're forced to save. It's going to be interesting, though. You don't see AGO hunting. And I like to talk about this a little bit because it could be the difference, in a sense, between, you know, the extra nade that you can find on the field, buying maybe the extra pistol, buying the head armor to upgrade, not giving these players the 300 they need, essentially, or a little bit of extra cash is going to mean the world now to AGO. So this is a great idea, not really overextending, looking for those kills.
This time we get a bomb detonation as the bomb actually explodes.
And that's terrible. Oh, I didn't even point out the fact that they were economically reset.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the half, I completely...
That's why they saved. They realized they needed the rifles for the final round. Like, that's all they could really go for.
Right, and now what I meant by the extra 300, etc. was... So the difference is, when we saw RPK spawn in that round, he had about 3K. A couple of their players that were staying alive had just about 2.9. And we see Famises on the field. If AGO chases against those people with the 2.9 scoreline, gives them those 300 kills, well, now M4s get dropped instead of Famises, and it becomes a complete different firepower for Envy. But look at this long A take right now. It's Haji getting himself 1, finding himself a 2nd, and Groovy taking him down.
Ooh. A promising start to the round, but it's immediately stomped out. It feels like this just keeps on happening. Even when Envy gets their foot in the door, AGO slams it until their foot is broken.
This might work out, though. Happy's made his way up towards that connector. We're in a 2v3 situation. I mean, PHR, no idea what Happy's doing right now. This should be a fairly easy kill for him.
I thought the timing was going to work out for PHR, that he'd be able to escape. Based on the way things have played out thus far, it wouldn't surprise me too much. Snatchy with a shot to the chest, but RPK's right there. EnVy closes out the round and wins the last round of the half. A meager 3 from them, though. A very disappointing performance for EnVy.
Yeah, I mean, that was all AGO. We didn't even really see too much out of EnVy. Scream with the pistol round, yeah, that was really the only highlight of EnVy's CT side, we could say.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the half in general, what should be an exclamation point on the end of a half, winning the last round, is more of a ...
Yeah,
you can see it on the faces right now of EnVy as well. Keo was the only one smiling, everyone else looking a little bit down, as that was not how they saw things going. A 9-round deficit, moving to the less favored side as well.
I really feel like that 1v2 that Gruby clutched on that eco round that they had, the light armor where Happy team flashed, I feel like that was the point where the half was going to switch or it was going to go the way of AGO, and unfortunately it went the way of AGO. EnVy not able to pick up that round. Gruby clutched it out, and here we go into pistol.
But that wasn't even the nail in the coffin. That was the dirt on top of it. The coffin had already been put in the ground at that point. It was just a matter of whether or not they could escape it. Gruby able to pick up Happy, and that kind of sells things out. They realize it's an A play. That was just the bait player over towards B, so they're going to start sending guys back towards the A bomb site, but that will allow a siphoning of players off of A as EnVy takes control of connector and heads back towards the B site.
Yeah, essentially EnVy running almost a similar pistol, as well as AGO now to each side as they move back towards B here for the final execute. They actually go into it a man down, but they should be able to get into the site, get the bomb down here, no problem. Ooh, nice shot by RPK.
A similar boost as we saw from EnVy in the pistol, and it again does not work out for the CT side. Won't stop him from trying it though. Into the pit, PHR goes, and he somehow can't kill him. It's a 1v1. It's all going to come down to one shot. Haji only has to hit the body, but he's got a molly.
He's going to tap
No kit.
Is he sticking?
Toao, 7 HP.
Oh my god, he's sticking.
Now he's dead. He doesn't have a chance. The only thing he can do is really stick the bomb, and with a lead like this, you might as well hope that the molly doesn't reach.
I thought he was gonna. I thought at that point when the molly's coming out, he's just gonna get off of it and look for the one tap because his HP was so low. But he stuck it, and
does he have enough time even after the molly burns?
He did have enough time.
Okay.
He did have enough time. He had like, I think it was like 20 seconds or something. So he would have got on the bomb. It would have been like one of those, okay, he just had enough time situations, but he did.
And he has to also hit him with one shot, not
exactly.
hit.
That's
so
the
it's
big
like
thing,
there's
right?
such a roll of the dice there. Either way, you're not. It's a catch-22 scenario. There's no really. 100%. There's no real winning that
100%. In that situation, he just assumed the T would play it more passive and he would get the full defuse off. Right now, Furlan with a great little tap. He might even be able to drop Haji here. No, that nade just comes up short. Does not hit its target. But still, with this scout at long A, this is very dangerous.
Oh, not again.
Jeez.
Not again. Flashbacks right now for EnVy as they're looking at winning another pistol. Right now, pistol round wins contributing to 50% of the rounds they've been able to take. Toao finishing the damage dealt by Furlan early. And the Polish side, as always, gives themselves the man advantage. And it's full HP for 3. Gruby's going to be walking right into Happy, excuse me. The CZ75 betrays him, though. Could have been a quicker kill, but Toao, immediate trade coming in. You can see it coming. The writing is on the wall. It's Kiyoshima with 14 HP.
The scary part is, though, with the positioning of Toao, it's either Kyo has to risk the bomb plant towards spawn, or he's going to have to plant towards bathroom side. And right now he makes that initial contact. He's going to stay alive with 14 HP, but now we do see the rotations coming in. He is planting for the CT spawn like we spoke about.
Yeah, there you go.
But unfortunately not able to close out the round. Great effort from AGO. They're going to hop onto their 13th round, reset the economy of EnVy, possibly run away with this.
I like the communication here, too. Toao was going to go for that AK, and they're like, no, go towards long. There's another gun down. Go get something else. So he runs towards long. PHR is going to stick the bomb. He'll find that second AK. Good heads-up awareness from AGO.
He picked up a AK, smoke, and a flash in that.
It's a massive money gain.
And another flash. He's essentially picked up his whole utility set.
Buy a molly and he's set.
17 and 5 he's sitting on right now.
Jesus. In contrast to the weaker performance from Happy, like we had mentioned earlier, he's just having a rough one right now.
Yeah.
A 9-round deficit. EnVy is down. At this point, it's force buy until the game closes out, essentially, because they're just stuck in a corner.
Yeah, their money's really not going to get anybody better from this, just off the sheer fact that they were reset. So at this point, it's going to be forcing out. Maybe we'll see a save if they lose this, and they'll play for overtime. But other than that, yeah, AGO, firm control of their CT half.
I like that setup, though, from Envy right there, even with Happy. He smokes short, and then his team flashes over into water, so he blows right through. It's really well-timed. If there's someone in water, it would work out great, but there isn't. But if there was, the setup was there. It does show that there has been some work put in. Here comes the push into the B site. They've got that head boost again, and man, one of these days that will work, I'm sure. Molly's going to go down on the default spot. That will prevent the plant and potentially burn Keo alive. Keo somehow survives as the smoke comes down. That Molly is just on the edge of him. But look at PHR's position. He's moved up all the way. Right in front of him is going to be Happy. Right inside the smoke is Keo. Down he goes, and it's all up to Scream. Does he have enough left in the tank? It's a 1v4, never even really gets a chance, gets spotted through the smoke. The bomb plant helps boost the buy. They'll get 2,700 coming out from the loss bonus.
I think they're going to save and go for overtime. We'll see what happens here. I mean, it could be one of those situations where, like, let's just move on to the next map, boys, and try and recollect ourselves. But they still have an opportunity here. I mean, I've seen it done, you know, the 15-4 comeback into overtime and you close it out. However, at this point right now, I mean, Envy. Yeah, okay, so they are going to force up, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, the issue is that the next map is also a strong map for
I mean,
AGO.
I was going to point that out. PHR is one of my favorite players on AGO, and that's surely because of the way he plays Train Ladder Room. And I love the way, I mean, you'll see it coming up in the second map. He's phenomenal at it, and it's going to be a sight to see going into Train.
Like, it's not a great map for them, but it's not a bad one either. A lot of their losses are very close to big teams. Whereas when you look at, you know, maybe Envy's run, it's kind of the same. I'd say Train is a little bit more of an even map than what we expected to see here. But how does this play out into the next map as well? It's down to Scream and Happy. Nades coming out over the wall. Snatchy barely survives. Somehow gets back around to kill Happy. He's not done. He wants more. Does enough damage to get the assist. It's 15-4.
What a round by Snatchy. To take it onto their 15th round. They've secured overtime at least at this point. But overall, I mean, Envy. We're going to have to see a complete change in the dynamic of that team going into the next map here, because as far as I'm concerned, if they come with the same momentum or this same effort, it's going to be a quick second series essentially. AGO is phenomenal on Train. They're an excellent Train team essentially. And yeah, Envy's going to have their work cut out for them.
I mean, looking at Envy's recent record, beating Astralis, beating Space Soldiers in close games, losing to Heroic in FaZe. It's
up and down, right?
It's very up and down. It's all of their games are within 6 rounds. So it's not like they're getting blown out, but they're also not blowing out their opponents either.
Keo, great shot onto Furlang, recovers an AK out of that, and he's going to be the solo lurk towards A as Groovy now evening it up as he takes down Scream towards that monster area. And we have a 4-on-4.
The flashbang heads in towards Monster, right through the edge of the smoke. PHR will spot RPK. The man advantage for AGO. It's a phrase we've said time and time again. Haji's going to get flashbang through that smoke, and that's PHR falling off when he hears the flashes coming in. Somehow he gets into the site, but it doesn't matter. Groovy shuts it down. 3 kills in the end.
Back-to-back 4Ks from 2 individual AGO players to close that match out. I mean, if that's not talent coming to shine, I don't know what is. Great first map out of them, Mark.
AGO looked great in general. We kind of saw something like that coming. We looked at the map pick, and it just was a little bit peculiar.
Yeah.
A disappointing start for Envy for sure, but there's still an opportunity. You know, we are going to be jumping into the next map, which is going to be Train.
Yeah.
It's certainly possible that Envy could turn things around, but again, how does that play into the second map?
I mean, going into Train, Envy, they got to keep their heads up, right? It's a brand new map. They got to come at it refreshed. For AGO, however, I mean, I'm sure they're going to be confident going into it. Like I talked about it right before we started this match against VP, winning 16-3. That was in their last MDL season. To get to Pro League, I mean, Train has been one of their core maps that they go to win series. So I'm expecting to see AGO more of the same.
Well, to talk about everything we just saw, we've got Dan Gaskin on the desk with a player who's used to getting 16 forward strong legs, and of course Topical, who's used to casting it. Take it away, boys.
And me, who's used to doing the 16-4s because I'm an incredible Counter-Strike player as well. Obviously, you know that.
You're Prince Dan. How could anyone beat you?
I like this. Prince Dan. That could be my new gamer tag. Strong legs and Prince Dan and top. Yeah. Either way, I was thinking, right, Scream. He's kicking it off well. We're 1-0 up. We've got the pistol. EnVy, they're here to play. And then there was the anti-eco. And then there were 7 rounds in a row. How does that happen?
I was like, wow, Scream starting us off with a 3K. This is going to be an incredible match. Is EnVy going to win Overpass? And then ecoed. And I was like, And then they lose 7 rounds in a row. And I'm like, Then I thought about it. And I said, Tao had an amazing performance early on. He was crushing it. So good on him. Yeah,
I was thinking at the second half, I'm like, oh, EnVy got the pistol round again. And then they get ecoed again. Second. It's just... They have a 2-round handicap to start off. Usually, you win the pistol round, you can end up with both halves. You have like a 6-round handicap. They only get 2 rounds out of that. They have 4 rounds total. It was an awful performance from EnVy, and I want to see more from him. But speaking of Groovy, he ends the game on a 23-11.
Wow.
He's absolutely crushing it.
I mean, there were particular rounds where Groovy did just clutch up as well. Like, he showed what he was made of several times, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a 1v2 on A site. I think this is it right here. Groovy just on top. He has 8 HP in this clutch situation. This is a round that EnVy really needed. No situation was going in favor of EnVy. And as much as I want to say EnVy was doing poorly, that wasn't even the case. AGO was just playing out of their mind.
There was a lot of aggression as well early on. And do you think that was a case of maybe EnVy not expecting the aggression from AGO? Did EnVy just come into this one just a little bit too cold, maybe not hot enough?
Yeah, they may have had the same inclination that I had, that yesterday AGO had a really slow start, and that maybe they'd have a passive play style, but instead AGO were full throttle right out of the gates. I think you mentioned that there was a B-side hold on Monster where AGO just ran straight up and got past the Molotov that quickly.
Yeah, an early scrim play to beat EnVy on a gun round, take them out early on. That allowed them to gain such an early lead on the T side, and they just propelled the momentum forward.
And of course, we know that Train's coming up next, and we know that that was their pick, right? EnVy now pick Trains, who we'd expect it to go to 1-1, but it's heartbreaking when you take a loss like that. I mean, only getting 4 rounds on the board, like, it's not really good enough in the grand scheme of things. I'm sure they will want to watch that back. At the same time, they probably won't want to watch that back.
Yeah, I think AGO get their map pick, okay. You have to look at it that way if you're EnVy. You just can't think of, we got dominated 16-4. They have to think they won their own map pick and just leave it at that. Then they have to play their own game on the second map.
Yeah, there's just no room to dwell at this point. I mean, you dwell later if you're in the hotel room and you've just lost the BO3 series. That's when you dwell on it and you say, what happened? But no, I think that right now you just forget about this map. You say, okay, they won their map pick. It doesn't matter what the scoreline was because it's favoring them anyway. Let's win the second map. Let's go to the third map and take them there.
Either way, a great start for AGO, and I'm sure they're going to be pretty confident going into map number 2. We are going to go for a very quick break, but when we're back, we'll be jumping right back into this series. It's going to be Train as map number 2, so don't go anywhere. We will see you shortly.